Welcome to Dog on the Plot. I'm Kerry. Dory's inside. She is having none of this. She just says nope, and I don't blame her. It's been cold and wet and just miserable all weekend. It's now Monday morning. Yeah, I'm not feeling it, I have to be honest. And it's the weather, but it was also a busy week at work last week. But I did get back on Sunday and I did make myself go down to the allotment, mostly because Becky and Mark were there and that motivated me to go too, but I did not want to. I did not want to. And even though I achieved some things, and I'm show you that later, yeah, I would have rather been at home in the warm. Speaking of which, we should probably head inside because there are some things that are going on inside to lift the spirits. Now that's better. Back inside with the heating on. So there's a couple of things that, yeah, lift the spirits, are nice things that are happening. And in fact, one of them is over here. And I haven't shown you this before, but it's been in the background of my videos since Christmas. And you may have been sort of watching it get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm really pleased to say that it's just started to flower. And this is my I think it was quarter price amaryllis that I got in the January sales. And yeah, isn't it just absolutely fabulous? I think this one is called Winston Churchill. And so it's this beautiful, deep, dark red. But yeah, if you want the spirits lifting, I mean, yeah, doesn't fail to do it, does it? Now there's some more exciting things happening inside the propagator as well. My chilies are continuing to do quite well. In fact, the lights are a little bit close to them again now, so I need to refigure all of this out, I think, at some point today. But it wasn't the chilies I wanted to show you. It was what I've planted next to them. So if you remember last week, I was chitting my loofah seed, and everyone that had got a little chit on it, I just popped into these cells. And this was the first one to come up. The casing, as it has on this one, if you can just see, was stuck to the leaf, and I clipped it off. So that's why the first leaves are looking a bit rough, but this one seems to have shucked off theirs, and these two seem to have done the same. So that's at least 5 loofahs I'm going to have, but I've actually got another 10 sown here. My aunt's just turned up. Let's see what she's got for me.
Morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Yes.
Lovely, thank you very much.
It's all right.
Oh,
Okay. Hello, you. Hello, you.
in. Good girl.
All right.
Hi, thank you. Yes. That was a Saki reference to getting on with my work. I would just like to make clear, yes, it is Monday morning, but my laptop is just there and I have been working. I'm just taking a little break. Come on, Dory. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Yes. So the thing that my aunt bought me was a new jumper. So I know some of you are very invested in my jumpers. And look, Dory, it's another Schnauzer one. Look, can you see? It's you. It's you. Now, what I had been going to say was that clearly I do not need 15 loofah plants. So if they do all come up, they shall be, yes, being distributed in some way. Now, the other thing that came up last week, and I had said in last week's video that I was surprised they hadn't come up yet, was the cucumbers. Now, I sowed 2 seeds in each of these pots, and only one has come up of each. And this has got wrinkly leaves as well because the seed casing was stuck. But that one is a beautiful looking little cucumber plant. So very happy that those are up. The mustards are doing crazy well. There's lettuces, there's dill, and even the thyme has started coming up now. Under the grow lights down here, these are my microgreens. They're doing fantastically. We'll have a few of those for lunch, I think. But in this one, this is my sweet peppers. We have a lovely little selection. The peppers are looking great. They're just getting their true leaves and will be ready to be pricked out soon. The tomatillos are fine. I've got the Robin's Cape gooseberries. Well, they're ground cherries, and Robin has told me that ground cherries and Cape gooseberries are different things, but they came out super fast, whereas Claire's Cape gooseberries, they are only just starting to pop up. And then at the back here, we've got all the aubergines, and I've got some of every variety there. So super happy with that as well. They've done really well on this quite hot heat mat. The brassicas I pricked out and potted on last week are doing fine up here. So they've not got a grow light, they're just using natural light. Actually, something has popped up here and I believe, yep, that's my first lupin. So I did soak some lupins and sow those last week. And yeah, within a week, they have started to pop up. And then lastly up here, now this, I'm not expecting much here, although the Brussels sprouts back here, they've grown really quickly. I've got leeks, not quite popping up yet, and I've got some onions. This one in the front is Astrantia, and this is the first time I've ever grown Astrantia from seed. Some of it's my saved seed, some of it's bought. I have sown it on the surface because it needs light to germinate, and it wants warmth for a few weeks. Then it's going to go in the fridge for a few weeks to have its cold stratification, and then it comes back into the warmth. And by that point, you should get some germination. Yeah, this is obviously a little bit more advanced, so we shall see how it goes. Now, there is no doubt that having seedlings growing, even if they are in your living room, helps to dispel some of those winter blues. And yeah, it's really lovely to see things growing, especially when they are growing well. So that's really nice. Another thing that is really nice is getting seed post. And a lot of seed post does arrive because I can't help myself. But the best kind of seed post is when it comes from friends. And last week, as I was saying, was really busy at work. It was quite stressful. And it was such a joy to go to my pigeonhole and find some seed post. And these are both from across the pond. So firstly, thank you to Robin at Robin's Gardens. And she's included me in her potato seed grow along. So this is the potato Clancy, the first potato I know about that you can actually grow from seed and at home. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. You might have seen that other YouTubers are doing this one as well. You might have heard about it on the Grow Up channel on Danny's Live. So yeah, we'll pop that in and see how it goes. And she said, because I am the queen of squash, she also sent me this one, which is green striped Cushaw winter squash, and it's apparently a very big one. Now, I'm trying not to grow so many big squash this year. I mean, I'm trying to grow some squash this year after last year's disaster, but I shall definitely be trying it. So thank you, Robin. Now, all of these seeds, and my goodness, look at them all, are from Ali at My Rusty Garden. So super generous. Thank you so much, Ali. And this is the one I knew she was sending. It's called Beef Bush Black Resilient Bean. And it's a bean that's meant to taste very umami-like, so like beef really. And as a vegan, it's hard to get umami flavors in your food all the time. So really excited to try this bean. Here you go, Dory. And I mean, there's other beans, lots of broad beans I'm going to add to my list for this year. Then this lima bean. So a lima bean in the UK is called a butter bean, and I love butter beans, but this is a really small butter bean, so that will be interesting to try. And yeah, squash, butternut squash, crookneck squash. I've never done a crookneck summer squash before, so yeah, super excited about those. And the last seed I want to show you that's a recent addition, and this is one that I bought myself, is from She Grows Veg, and it is the mangold wurzel. So new to me, I'm jumping on the trend, and I'm going to try and grow a mangold wurzel this year. So yeah, watch this space. I meant to say earlier when I was in the greenhouse that my mug is not really appropriate for this video because I am not feeling like I would rather be at the allotment today. And actually I'm looking outside now and it's still filthy. It's filthy weather out there and I would not want to be on the allotment or out in the garden. But I have to say I am feeling a lot better. Just sitting here chatting with you, looking at the seedlings, looking at the seed packets, it's lifted my spirits no end. So thank you to that. And the other thing that really lifts my spirits when I don't actually want to garden, but I still want to do something garden-y, is of course go to the garden centre. And I've got some work to do, going to get on with some work. And then my cousin is coming round for lunch and we're going to head to the garden centre, have a little cheeky look around over lunch. So I shall see you in a little bit. So we've come a bit further out to the garden centre this week because, well, my cousin who's holding the camera wants some vermiculite, and this is the cheapest place for vermiculite, but also it has double recycling bins, so you can recycle old pots and old compost bags. So that's what we're going to do first. What I just found. Bargain. I hope it works. I'm going to try it. Well, that was a nice little trip to the garden centre, but I was very good. I just got my vermiculite and I got the heat mat because that was an absolute bargain. Those are like 30 quid on Amazon. It was down to £7.50 and it works. I've tried it at home. I put the chilies on it and it's actually working. So super chuffed with that. And oh yeah, and I bought some biscuits. Now, if you're wondering where all the stuff has suddenly gone out of my greenhouse, I'm in a different greenhouse. I'm actually down on the plot, so I'm in the plot greenhouse. And yeah, the thing about having a dog is however poor the weather is and however early it gets dark, and actually it seemed dark all day today, you still have a dog to walk. So I have dragged us down to the allotment plot so that I can round out this video with not a tour but just a little update on what I got up to yesterday and some things I don't think I've shown you recently. So if we head on out of the greenhouse, one of the first things that you might notice, if I just pan around slightly in the distance there, is yes, yet another greenhouse. So this part of the plot, this corner here, is my sister's part of the plot. And Mark was down here yesterday putting up what we're calling the greenhouse mansion. Because if you thought my greenhouse was big, and if I just pan round slowly so you don't get seasick, there's my little greenhouse there. We thought it was big. There's Mark's teeny greenhouse there. My one I was just in is behind me. And then this absolute beast. It's a double door greenhouse as well. And yeah, it pretty much takes up this entire plot. So Mark came down here yesterday and started putting it together. And my cousin and I, when we came down a little bit later, we helped him prop it all up so he could get the corners together. And then he did the roof. And yeah, I mean, a job well done in really awful weather. It was so cold yesterday and just, yeah, completely miserable like it is today. And his poor fingers were freezing, but it's up. He did it. So what a job well done. I think he's really pleased to have got that done. Obviously not glazed yet and probably not for a little while because yeah, he just needs to kind of sort out where the base is going to go. And of course, we're still trying to kill all the grass on that plot as well. Now, if we head back over to my side of our plot, yeah, I was busy too. So after I'd helped Mark, I moved back over to the Fruit Tree Guild. So if, like Dory, you're wondering what is different about the Fruit Tree Guild from last week, I took plenty of video so I can show you. And what I did was put in my raspberry canes. So the raspberries had been transplanted from the old plot, and they'd just been healed into some compost over the winter while I was getting this bed ready for them to go in. And what I decided to do was put each of the two, well, one is one variety. So one is the Shagana, I believe. And I put that between one set of trees. And then all the other canes went between the other set of trees. And I know that includes the fall gold, which is the yellow raspberry. I'm not sure if all the canes are yellow, but all the canes, both sides, are autumn fruiting. So they'll get cut down to the ground every year in autumn. And in the summer, they'll grow between the trees. Once the raspberries were in, I decided to put the currant bushes in, and I have a red currant and a black currant. So I put one at one end next to the apple tree, and one at the other end next to the other apple tree. So they went in. And then lastly, I just put in some chives and some antirrhinums that I'd got stored in the greenhouse. And so it's beginning to fill out a little bit now, but yeah, there's loads more room in here, so there's loads more things to go in, and I've still got to sort out the strawberry as the undercover. But yeah, it's really starting to take shape now, so that was good. Yeah, I didn't feel like it. Came down here, held up the greenhouse for Mark for a bit, and then thought, can I just go home? But I didn't, and I did that, and I felt a lot better for it, to be honest. Now, the other thing I did is up this way, right at the back of the plot, and it was sort out the compost bins a little bit. So I have loads, I'll just pan around, loads of bags of the rabbit bedding here, and I started filling up these two compost bins with the rabbit bedding. So that all went in there. And then I was adding some of the cardboard, which is what I've taken out of the greenhouse, which is why I could actually fit in there to film just a second ago. That's actually the first time since coming onto the new plot that I've actually been able to get into the greenhouse, because it's been full of all that cardboard. So I've put it out here now because actually it's better to have it rained on, so you can take the tape off easier and then tear it up more easily for the compost, because I don't think I'll be using it for no-dig beds. So although I am converting these beds to no-dig, you don't have to put cardboard down for no-dig unless it's particularly weedy or grassy. And in this case, I haven't got that issue. So I got all these big sheets of cardboard thinking I might use them, but actually they're probably just going to be torn up for the compost now. Right, I'm heading into the polytunnel. So I didn't do a lot in here yesterday other than water, but I don't think I've fully shown you what I've done in here. I know I've kept you up to date with my winter salad bar, and look, it's doing fabulous, really good, even better than the one at home, I think. Look at these lettuce. These are the Bronze Beauty lettuce, and aren't they stunning? They're such a good lettuce. Oh, Dory, no, come on, off. Good girl. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, and the peppermint chard still looking absolutely stunning. But down the end here, now I showed you when I put these mustard or mizunas and things in, but I don't think I showed you that I actually went ahead and planted all the way up to the end here with various brassicas that I had left over from summer sowings, I guess. And it's getting dark now, but if you could see to the end there, I planted all of this up as well. So those are Calabrese, Cavolo Nero. And look at all these seedlings coming. What do you think those are? I'm wondering if they're all tomato seedlings. Oh, Dory, you've done it again. Come on, off. You know, I got this plot in the winter, and I've been able to use the polytunnel over the winter and not just kind of have it standing empty until the tomatoes are ready. So I'm really pleased that I've got stuff growing in there. Whether those brassicas get any bigger than what they are now, or whether I transplant them out of there later on when the tomatoes are ready to go in, we shall see. And oh yeah, at the front of the plot, I think you can just see through the mesh there that we do have a spring bulb that's come up. So if you remember, I planted the entire front of the plot along here with spring bulbs. I really do hope that they come up, because that will be such a lovely feature as you come to the front of the plot and to have all the flowers out there. So I think what's nice about this, coming down like just on the dog walk. I haven't come down here to do a job, and walking around and just looking at the things that you've already done and achieved, as opposed to making a list of the things that still need doing. That's another thing that can really lift the spirits, because I wasn't feeling it, really wasn't feeling it this morning. Didn't think I was going to film anything for this week, and yet here I am. I've got a big smile on my face. I'm out in the fresh air. Okay, it's dark and it's cold. It's not the nicest time to be at the allotment, but yeah, okay. I shall see you next week. Goodbye.